Okay, it says I'm live right here, right here at 9 o'clock. Just clicked over 9 o'clock. I have a wall mounted grandfather clock, well, not father, I guess, a big clock, but it chimes just a smidge ahead of the regular digital clocks. So that's what I go by. When it's finished chiming, then I know it's time for me to get online. Time to hit the go live button. Well, I hope everybody's doing good this Sunday morning. Get a few people in here and we'll see what's going on. Right now, it seems to be a little bit slow getting started. We'll see how many people can get in here. I hope the signal's good. I'm coming from home again, so my signal is always a tad questionable because down here, like I said, I'm running off of a wireless Verizon router, and the wireless Verizon has good download speeds, but the upload speeds are sometimes questionable. So I always wonder if the signal's good when somebody signs on. So always give me a thumbs up or let me know and how good the signal is or how bad the signal is. That's what my worry is. I just don't want to have that sort of stuff. But I am coming from my home, so I'm sitting down here at my house, waiting on everybody to kind of jump in, see what they want to chat about, and that sort of stuff. This week, kind of a laid back, easygoing week this week for us. Uh, Jim's off for a couple of days. Jim's getting into his vacation modes again. He once a month or once every other month or whatever, he takes his camper out and goes somewhere. So Jim is out in Mooresville, I think is where he said this week. He and his wife Barbara are out in Mooresville and camping out, and I believe I'd wait a little, let it get a little bit warmer, but Jim and Barbara want to enjoy their camper. So, that's the way it goes. Well, I'm seeing people get on, but nobody chatting yet. I guess my chat room's working right. Let me make sure. Yep, seems to be. Seems to be working right. Now, if somebody wants to get in here and chat with me and tell me what, whoops, I'm getting some other notifications from the other phone and everything. So we'll see what's going on there. But like I said, this week's sort of a laid back week, and we hadn't done a lot. We worked on the new project, the '56 Pontiac. Worked on it some, and then Barbara and I worked around the house here, and I've got some other landscaping things I'm doing, and a few other things too. But other than that, we just had a laid back week this week. Haven't had to accomplish much of anything, which is good sometimes. Sometimes you just want a laid back, do nothing, take it easy week, and that sort of stuff. And so I'm glad to be able to accomplish nothing sometimes, and that's what this week was all about. I had a couple of doctor's appointments. Let's see which one. I know we had one because we went and ate after the doc. Where did I go? Oh yeah, I went to the endocrinologist. That's what it was. I went to the endocrinologist. That's for my diabetic part. Hey Jamie, glad to see you jump in. Uh, yeah, I went to the endocrinologist, which my diabetes is doing pretty good. I've changed my medication up, and I'm on No, I didn't buy a burger this week. I got a steak this week. That's what I did. I bought a. We went to endocrinologist, and since we were down there, there's a Longhorn not too far from my doctor's office, so we went over and got a steak. And of course, that was good for me for 2 days because when I buy it, it's too much for me to eat at one setting. So I ate it at supper time one day and then lunchtime the next day. So it worked out great for me. And we did that. And um, like I said, and then come Wednesday, well, Wednesday was Jim's last day because he took off to go to Mooresville and everything with his camper. So Jim just worked 3 days. So he's got it made. Oh, you're in Pensacola, looking great there. Um, and we're here. It's kind of chilly here this morning. What temperature is it in Pensacola today? What? Yeah, it's a pretty day out here today. It's as far as the blue skies. We got some beautiful blue skies out here, and as you can see, there's my pond right here behind me. And it last night, the wife was talking about how pretty the pond was because we had a full moon, and it was hitting down on the pond, and you could see the pond. There was enough wind and everything. The pond was rippling, and it was real pretty. She was talking about how pretty it was on the pond. So that's great. Oh, 45 there. I think it's still about 28 or 30 here. Let me check this. So what it says. Well, it's gotten up a little bit warmer. It's in the upper 30s now. But yeah, it was in the 20s. I think I got down to about 28 last night. So that's chilly for us. I'm ready for spring. We've had a mild winter, and I'm ready for spring to get here. We didn't have a flake of snow this year, and I don't want it. They had some up in the mountains not too far from here, but the pond's not too bad deep. It's like a lot of them. It's got two creeks that feed that. I'd say it's 5 or 6 feet deep, probably maybe 10 feet at the dam area, but across the pond level, it's probably 5 or 6. Of course, I did dredge it out. I dredged it out in these two areas. This creek coming here and this creek coming down. I widened it and dredged it a few years ago, and so it's a little bit deeper there than it used to be. But with all the silt and everything that comes down through there, it's not a real deep pond, as most farm ponds are. I mean, most farm ponds are not that, and really they won't even let you. Of course, this one was built back in the 40s. So, talking about the pond, there goes two geese flying in real wild. But this pond was built originally in the 40s, so I imagine it was deeper than most ponds were allowed back then. The dam itself it's got a big drop off back there. So if you were to measure from what the dam is, at the dam, it's probably about 10 feet, 10 or 12 feet deep. But all in all, this pond's not that deep. Like I said, 4 or 5 feet at the most, I would imagine, all the way across. But it's a large, and it's a pretty good, massive area. So I think it's been measured. It's about a 4 or 5 acre pond because it extends from the highway over here, like I said, all the way to the dam, which is probably yardage wise, probably 200 yards. It's probably 200 yards from the mouth of the pond on this side over to the dam. I would say it's close. It's about 2 football field lengths, uh, and the same going this way. My pond sort of does a Y. It's got a creek coming in from this area and then a creek coming in from this area. Of course, during the heat of the summer and the drought of the summer, both of these creeks will get down to almost nothing. So, but that's we have the retention of the water, and it gives me tons of irrigation. So we irrigate out of the pond. Gosh, how many geese have I got out there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 geese on the pond right now. But as far as I forgot my train of thought here. What was it? Oh, the irrigation. That's what I was talking about. The irrigation. We irrigate my wife's flowers and the grass and everything. And it works out great coming out of the pond. And like I tell her, we get water and fertilization at the same time because the pond's got all the fish manure, I guess you might, all the fish debris or whatever coming in through the water and everything else. So we get the fish fertilizer. The fertilizers, the grass and the flowers, and really it's eco wise, it's pretty healthy for them. Yeah, I think old Trump did pretty good. I think he kicked butt down there, and probably wasn't. It's sort of weird because I think what happened in the case in South Carolina, and because I saw some of them talking on Facebook and everything, friends of mine that live in South Carolina. What happened? A lot of Democrats didn't vote, and the Democratic election, they went ahead and decided to vote. And the Republican, because it's an open primary, you can do one vote. You can be registered a Democrat and vote in the Republican Party primary because they have an open policy in South Carolina. So what happened? A lot of Democrats kind of saved their vote to vote against Trump. So that's where Nikki Haley got a lot of votes, was the fact that people that were Democrats voted against Trump, and that they thought it was going to do some good, which it didn't. I mean, Trump still prevailed. I think he is like a 60-40, like a 20% or 20-point difference between them, and no big deal. He won it. We'll see what happens in the Super Tuesday, and by then, like everybody said, Nikki Haley's a rhino anyway, Republican in name only, and she likes the military, industrial military complex, and all that sort of stuff. She's real hawkish. I mean, she would have us spending money on wars that we didn't need, I'm afraid, and that sort of stuff. So I'm against her philosophy there for sure. It is what it is. I think she showed her colors, as she ran. The others that weren't as strong, they moved on and got out. And, Trump, if they don't in some way, shape or form, get him hung in jail and we can't get him out, I think he's going to be the nominee. But it's a really strange world when the DOJ and everybody is trying their best to keep the Republican candidate, the most likely Republican candidate, put him in prison, so or keep him tied up so that he can't run. I mean, it's ridiculous. The most ridiculous is that crazy judge in New York that fined him $355 million for doing nothing wrong. He borrowed money from banks. Banks were happy to loan it to him. He used the funds to do whatever he was doing, paid the loans back on time. And where's the crime? There is no crime there. How that is a crime. If that's a crime, there's millions of people that are committing crimes if that is a crime. I mean, how many times have you gone out and you've tried your best to get as much collateral as you can from a vehicle, or like I said, or a piece of property? You want to have that estimate up as high as you can, so you can get the most amount of money, because they're going to a lot of times only going to loan you 80% anyway. And you know, if it's 500,000 and they're only going to loan you 80%, you know, you want that estimate as high as you can be. And that's the crazy thing. Oh yeah, he's appealed the verdict. I just hope it, you know, it's going to cost him money to appeal it. That's a crazy thing. I mean, they're sapping him dry. I hope he's able to appeal it, win it, and get his money back with interest, is what I hope he's able to do, because that's the only fair thing. They are just, I mean, I hate to think the legal bills that Donald Trump has got right now. I mean, there's so many taxpayer dollars that are being wasted. And look at that crap in Georgia. I mean, where they put these people in place, and all they're doing is taking advantage of their position and milking the system to, you know, Fannie something on Fannie whatever, or I don't know, just yeah, it's a crazy caliber people, and they know that they're just taking advantage of the system. I mean, we've got people that they get in there, and I just don't know how they can live with themselves. They feel like, well, I can just pay my boyfriend, you know, twice as much as somebody else, and they won't know the difference. But it is what it is. We're going to have to live with it, guys. That's the problem. We are going to have to live with it. But hopefully, you know, things will turn around. I don't know. I don't know if they will or they won't. You know, I don't know if we can get all the alignment in the Republican Party, or what I want to say at right now, the common sense people. I mean, it's almost, you know, I can't really say the Republican Party is all this great, because the party itself, I mean, look how fractured the party it is. You got these Republican elites that feel like they're better than a lot of the Republicans. So, I mean, they're up there. I guess that's the rhino ones, like a lot of people say. They're up there at the upper echelon, and they say, well, we know what's better for you. You don't have the common sense, or you don't have our elite mind to say what's good for you. I mean, that's like the World Economic Forum. That is the most craziest thing. They're trying to control the whole world and tell you how you should bank, how you should do your electricity, your fuel, everything. I mean, we need to get away from that World Economic Forum like Trump did. That is the craziest stuff. Is to let some of those elite, so-called elite people around the globe tell us what to do. I mean, like Bill Gates. Bill Gates is I don't need to listen to him. I don't need to listen to Al Gore. I don't need to listen to John Kerry, who flies around in his big old private jet. Let me catch up. Oh, I know. We definitely need to vote out Mitch McConnell. I don't. I hope Mitch McConnell goes out. I mean, he's a Republican, but he's dyed in the wool. Go along with the establishment up there. I don't like Mitch McConnell. We need a stronger Republican in Kentucky. I mean, you got one strong. I mean, you got Rand Paul up there who's strong and is pretty sensible. But then Mitch McConnell is a dingbat, and he's another one that he's too old. He's too old. He's set in his ways. He needs to go. He needs to go, and we need somebody more fiery, younger, a little more aggressive, like Rand Paul. Rand Paul, I like him. He gets in there and says stuff good. And of course, my favorite politician of all, I guess that's up there right now, is Senator Kennedy from Louisiana. He is so slow and methodical, and he gets to the point, and he can embarrass the heck out of some of these people. But he is a smart individual, and he doesn't get up there and just blow this say junk. I mean, he usually has stuff figured out and has it so he can gotcha on that stuff. I like him. I mean, he's Senator Kennedy is he's a great senator from Louisiana. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if he'll make it through this last. He's in there for 6 years, and he just got reelected in 2020, so he'll be out in 2026. And surely, the goodness, if he makes it out in these 6 years, he won't go back in. But you never know. I mean, Strom Thurmond stayed in there till he was in his 90s, and Nancy Pelosi's going to try to hang on till she's in her 90s. Dianne Feinstein died in office. You know, I don't know. It's some of these politicians like that, they hang on for, I don't know what to get out of life. I don't understand it. I mean, I'm retired and I'm enjoying retirement. I would hate to think that I had to put up with all the crap that goes on, much less somebody in their 80s and 90s. I mean, here I am early 70s, and I wouldn't want to put up with that crap. And of course, you see, we got one of our local congressmen. He's been up there about Patrick McHenry, and he got up there and was good friends with the Speaker of the House, or the former Speaker of the House, and all that sort of stuff. And I think he thought do pretty good. He's decided to get out. He's not running this time. Of course, they've redistricted the North Carolina, and the congressional districts are different. So he may have felt that him to move on. I don't know. Yeah, they got all of them's got a power trip. That's for sure. Yeah, yeah, and they're all pushing. They're all pushing the maximum on age. I just don't know. I don't know what they're going to be able to do in a few years, but it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. I hope we can get some things straightened out prior to the November election. I don't know if we will or won't. I mean, I definitely don't want to be sending Ukraine any more money. I think Ukraine, that to me, that's a money laundering situation. I mean, where did Hunter Biden get a lot of his money? Ukraine. Where did he got it from? Ukraine, Russia, and China, and everything. But Ukraine has been a cesspool for corruption and everything. And it's a dictatorship. We got one dictator fighting another dictator over there. and we're supposed to be. I mean, if Ukraine was a democracy and they ran it like people think that it's run, maybe it would be different. But it's not. It's not a. It's not. I mean, it's not a good situation. They got Nazis over there in Ukraine, and there's just it's a messed up situation. We're supporting, which I do not understand. I mean, that war could have been halted. Biden and the warmongers and the Ukrainian government, they wanted that war. They wanted. I mean, look at Ukraine. He is sucking in money right and left. We're paying for their teachers and everything, all their social services. We're paying for that and starving ours over here, just like we are with the migrants. I mean, is this not the most ridiculous thing where they're handing out gift cards in New York City, $15,000 worth of gift cards to these migrants that have come into New York City? It's ridiculous. I just don't understand it. Yeah. And that's what they're doing. We're printing money. We don't have the money. We're in debt. We're in debt, trillions of dollars. What, $35 trillion? I think last time I looked, $35 trillion that we're in debt. So what money we give them, we're giving them funny money. It's only depleting what our money really is worth. I mean, if you had $100,000 in the bank a few years ago, trust me, it's not worth $100,000 now. If you had it 10 years, if you had $100,000 in the bank 10 years ago, it's probably net worth is probably 70 or 75 or 80,000. So, your net value of what your dollar is worth has gone down tremendously in the past 3 or 4 years. And these fools that think the economy is doing great, that's an inflated economy. I mean, yeah, the stock market's up. Well, you change the bar. You change what the value of everything is. So an inflated stock market means nothing. What it costs you out of your pocket to go eat normal staples like your groceries and buying gas and everything like that. That's the real world economics. That's what it's taken you. That's what it's taken out of your budget to survive. That's what you got to gear this on. And the average person out there, this economy means nothing to them. I don't care if some rich guy's portfolio has gotten fatter and he's gotten richer. What the problem is the small guy, the average guy, is out here buying. He fills up his pickup truck and it's $120 when it used to be you could fill up his pickup truck for $50 or $60. That's the difference. That's the difference right there. I mean, the average Joe going to work, the average plumber, if he goes out and works for somebody, exponentially more to pay. It just creeps up because we started printing, because we made the money less valuable. So when it's less valuable, I mean, we're going to end up being like Venezuela before it's over with, where you have to have a stack of money that high to get a Coca-Cola, and it's crazy. Oh, I know it. It's crazy, Walter. I mean, they're paying these immigrants or illegal aliens what they are. But I got so aggravated. I was watching ABC News. They won't call them illegal immigrants. They call them asylum seekers. Asylum seekers, my butt. They're illegals. They got here illegally. They're in this country illegally. They're going to try to stay here forever illegally. And we can't absorb that much. Why people think we can absorb that much? I mean, I realize this country was built on immigrants, but it was a controlled system. Even way back when, they knew where the people came from. They had to tell what kind of work they did. They had to explain what they were going to do in the United States, who sponsored them, or all this sort of stuff. We're doing none of that anymore. I mean, it's sort of like, you know, bring all your bad people over and pile them in too. I mean, we've got a mixing pot, that's for sure, but it's not a good pot we're mixing it with. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, I just I don't know what the world's going to come to. I I feel for my grandchildren. Uh, I mean, that's my children and my grandchildren. That's a scary thing right there. Is to see what they're going to have to put up with. But it is what it is, guys. We just have to make the best of it. I hope we can. I hope we can. I hope we're able to make sense of things. And it looks like Canada's going through the same things too. They're trying to get rid of Trudeau up there, and that their conservative leader up there, I forget what the guy's name is. I really like him. I've heard him on YouTube and a few other places several times. Smart guy. And he's trying his best to get rid of the corruption that Trudeau is doing too, because he's doing the same thing. Crazy people we got. So I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Well, guys, I tell you what, I'm not. I'm to the point now I can't talk as long as I used to, and I'm going to cut this one short today a little bit, because I am having a little bit of difficulty. I've got my oxygen right here. There's my can of oxygen I take. Of course, I don't know. I'm getting more people on here now. If more people want to participate, I guess maybe I should stay on. The numbers keep creeping up. Hopefully, let me take a swig of oxygen here. See if I can rebound a little bit. Give me some energy. Well, I'll stay on just a little bit longer, and like I said, get that energy there. But I guess, of course, I about to come to end of what I wanted to say too. So maybe I ought to go ahead and shut it down, and let everybody get back to what they're doing on Sunday. Talking 35 minutes here, so that's probably long enough. So I'm gonna probably say let's call it a day. I'll catch you out here next Sunday. See if does it do its thing. I'll catch you out here next Sunday, and hopefully everybody will have a good week. Catch you later, guys.